Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different, a little thrilling, and honestly, absolutely crucial. We're going to perform a complete, suspenseful autopsy of a modern digital trap. I'm talking about the exact kind of trap that is probably sitting quietly in your pocket right now, just waiting to spring. We are completely deconstructing the infamous WhatsApp fake job scam. We're going to pull apart every single wire and gear so that by the time we wrap up today, you'll be completely bulletproof. You are not going to be the next victim.
I want you to put yourself directly in this scenario for a second. You're sitting on your couch, maybe watching TV, having your morning coffee, and your phone just pings. You look down and you see this exact message glowing right there on your screen. Earn $500 a day. Work from home. Click here. It's incredibly tantalizing, right? It's designed specifically to be that exact thing you might secretly be hoping for. It totally bypasses your usual scam radar because it speaks directly to a universal desire, financial freedom, all from the comfort of your own living room. And all you have to do is tap your screen.
Okay, let's dive into this because this stark contrast is the entire foundation of the scam. On one side, we have this shiny, high-paying illusion. It looks, for all intents and purposes, like the absolute perfect opportunity. But on the flip side, we have the malicious, hidden reality that we're about to dissect. It's a carefully engineered trap. The scammer's entire goal here is to keep you staring at that shiny illusion so you never ever notice the jaws of the trap waiting for you.
So let's kick things off with part 1, the perfect WhatsApp trap.
Here's the scammer's precise playbook, and it basically breaks down into 3 distinct steps. Step 1 is the ping. This is that initial notification coming completely out of the blue. Step 2 is the pitch. Now this is where the psychology really comes into play. The phrasing in these initial messages is so carefully crafted. They use casual but really urgent language, framing it as an exclusive opportunity that you've been specially selected for. They want to make you feel special, pushing those emotional buttons to override your logical caution. And then, right on cue, comes step 3, the ask. It's this subtle invitation to just click a link or reply to learn more. It seems like such a tiny, completely harmless action.
Moving right along to part 2, building the professional illusion.
Once you actually engage with them, the scammer enters the grooming phase. They slow things way down to systematically and carefully build an artificial foundation of trust. Now, what's really interesting about this is how effortlessly this trust can be manufactured online. Notice how the scammer hides behind all this heavy corporate jargon. They set up these highly professional-looking profiles, often literally stealing headshots of real executives, or using those polished AI-generated faces. They drop official-sounding company names, maybe even mimicking real well-known recruitment agencies. They do all of this to solidify the illusion. Your brain registers professional recruiter, and suddenly, your guard just drops that little bit more.
Which brings us to the climax in part 3, the sting and processing fees.
And then, boom, without any warning at all, everything changes. The grooming phase is over, the professional facade has done its job, and this is the exact moment the trap is violently sprung on the victim. Remember this massive number, that $500 a day? Well, the scammer brings this right back to the forefront of the conversation. They highlight this daily income promise to dizzy you with dollar signs. Why? Because this massive number is literally just the bait they need to justify the sudden, shocking demands that are about to follow. They make you focus so hard on the $500 you're supposedly about to make that you don't really mind parting with a little bit of what you already have.
So, the crucial point is the sting. This is the pivotal moment the illusion completely drops. You're hooked, right? You want the job, you want the money, and that is exactly when they tell you that. To get started, to unlock this amazing remote gig, you just need to pay a small processing fee for your background check. Or maybe you need to buy some required company equipment from their special vendor. Or, honestly, even worse, they send you a very official-looking form demanding your sensitive personal data. We're talking social security numbers, bank routing details, your core identity. In a flash, the promise of money transforms into a direct theft.
Now, we have to look at part 4, the devastating aftermath.
We really need to look analytically at this fallout, because understanding the consequences is just as important as understanding the trap itself. Let's trace exactly what happens once they have what they want. Moment 1. You hand over the fee or your personal info, genuinely believing it's the final step to your new job. Moment 2 is almost instantaneous. That professional facade vanishes into thin air. The profile picture disappears. The messages stop delivering. You are blocked. The scammer just completely vanishes with your data or your cash. And moment 3 is where the devastating aftermath begins. If it was money, well, it's gone. If it was your personal data, you are now frantically scrambling to freeze your credit, contact your bank, and basically try to protect yourself from full-blown identity theft. The damage unfolds incredibly quickly.
But let's take back the power in part 5,
spotting critical red flags. Because here is the really good news. Now that we've pulled the scam apart and looked at its anatomy, you're no longer vulnerable. We're going to arm you right now. And this brilliantly illustrates your absolute ultimate defense checklist. These are the critical red flags. If you see unrealistic $500 a day promises for basic work, red flag. If you notice phrasing designed to artificially bypass your caution with fake urgency, red flag. If you get unsolicited links telling you to click here from numbers you don't even know, stop right there. And absolutely, unequivocally, if there is a sudden request for a processing fee for a job or a demand for your highly sensitive personal data over a casual messaging app, the trap is snapping shut. No way. Walk away immediately.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought to really chew on. Our digital world is built on trust, but as we've seen today, that trust is so easily manipulated. We've seen the anatomy of the scam. We know the bait, the illusion, and the sting. Tomorrow, or maybe next week, when your phone inevitably pings with the next so-called perfect opportunity, will you recognize the illusion before the trap snaps shut? Stay vigilant, always question your digital environment, and never let the bait blind you to the hook. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, stay safe out there.